Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. DigiKey is one of the world's largest electronic component distributors. We ship millions of parts every day to over 180 countries. If you use a phone, or drove a car, or turned on a light today, chances are we have our parts in there. Our components power the everyday products that make modern life possible. And behind all this is a supply chain where context matters. Because if one link breaks, the ripple effects are global. Let's walk down the memory lane. When I joined DigiKey, I asked our CEO a simple question: why hire a CDO? His answer was clear: because we want to treat data as an asset, a true competitive advantage. That stuck with me. But when I started, I interviewed nearly 200 employees in 90 days, and I heard 50 different definitions of what it meant to be data-centric. Everyone believed data was valuable. No one could quite agree on what that meant or how to prove it. That was a valuable input to build the data-centric strategy, which is manage data as a strategic asset. We saw this mostly, the whole world saw it, during COVID. A quick story from the trenches. During the Shanghai supply chain shutdown, dashboards were full, sensors were streaming, and ERPs had every transaction. Yet, planners could not answer a simple question: which high-value orders were at risk and why? The reason was not lack of data. It was a lack of a shared meaning. The container, the order, the port call, and delayed, lived in different systems with different definitions. Analysts were piecing together insights from various sources, from procurement, order management, customers, suppliers, in various forms, structured or unstructured, like spreadsheets, email, chats, whatnot. Each team had a part of the picture, but no one had the whole view of the context. As we manually stitched the context together, the opportunity was passing by. For years, governance advice has been: start with the business use case, work right to left. But when a factory closes or a supply chain is disrupted, there is no time to build a business case or start a new program. Context is an age-old concept. The ontologies, knowledge graphs, control variables, we had these concepts for decades. But how much progress we have made? Not a lot. Context readiness solves the supply chain puzzle by agreeing on a common vocabulary and the relationships among things. The team is able to link purchase orders to containers, vessels, port events, and customer promises. Suddenly, the query, which customer orders will miss SLA because of one point of failure, and what can we reroute today, is able to run in minutes instead of days. That is what turning data strategy into real digital transformation. Now, let's look at our journey with Atlan. When we looked at Atlan first, I thought, another catalog. But I was impressed to find that Atlan was much more than a catalog of catalogs. It was more of a context operating system. Atlan extended beyond cataloging technical metadata to cover every type of metadata or context in every system, including our operational systems. Atlan enabled us to easily activate metadata for everything from discovery in their marketplace, to AI governance, to data quality, to an MCP server delivering context to AI models. It's not about documenting data after the fact. It's about unifying, collaborating on, and activating context wherever it's needed using Atlan, going back to our initial goal of growing data as an asset. The results have been real. We have connected 6 critical systems, cataloging more than 1 million assets. We have defined over 1,000 glossary terms, creating a shared business language. We have leveraged Atlan AI to automate enrichment, reducing manual work to our stewards. And we've onboarded over 200 users who now rely on Atlan to accomplish their work. For the first time, we have a single source of truth for the context, Atlan. And because of that context is activated, it's not a shelfware. It's part of how we run business. and holds us accountable to keep it current. Our CEO was right. Data can be our competitive advantage, but only if it's context ready. In a world of constant supply chain shocks and the rise of AI, companies that prepare their context in advance will be the ones who move fastest, adapt best, and earn the most trust. In the past year alone, we had 70 AI projects. With Atlan, now we have context readily available to support all the business and bring those projects to production. My message to the data leaders: don't wait for the business case to come knocking. By then, it's already too late. Finding low-hanging fruit is always good to keep up the business engaging. But it's not enough. Build the context incrementally with the big picture in mind. Invest in context readiness now. The path to AI readiness goes through context readiness. It is the greatest accelerator of the AI journey. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to the rest of the event. Thank you for having me here.
Hi, Sridhar. Thank you for coming to Regovern and sharing, wow, so many insights today. Something that you shared, I think you were refreshingly candid in saying that, in the early days of Atlan, you saw us as possibly another data catalog. And there was a moment where you realized that we could be more of a context operating system for you all. What happened when that flip happened in your head? What changed?
There are many technology, and we have talked about this in the past as well. It's like technology is never a problem. It's really the operating model, the personas, the use case. So even once you have it, I think it's what I like about what Atlan has done is thinking context as more of an operating system and building that. So it's not about creating a bunch of metadata, technical lineage or linkage. That's good, but still, how do you use them? It's really to build a context. We humans, if you give the lineage and linkage, we build a context here. But machines can't do that. You need that. So that's why context is so important to AI. I think Atlan is, I feel like you guys have done a tremendous amount of work there. And we wanted to latch on to that journey and see how we can make progress there.
How is your role changing as you prepare for the AI world?
Not much. The way I see it is, and I think so far people have been talking about the front end of it. I think me and my team are going to be spending a lot of time on the back end, strengthening the foundations to support the AI journey, which is about to start. And I think the other thing is culture. And there is a lot of myths with AI. And we need to break the myth. When I say culture, it's a loaded term. That involves literacy. Literacy is not about telling the business. It's really telling the technical people. The role of data engineers, data modelers, or I'm thinking in a few years, data engineers and data modelers will become context engineers. And AI engineers are going to become AI enthusiasts or AI evangelists. So I think the data scientists so I think the role is changing because they can't they can't do the data mapping or write a test case. All those things are going to be done by can be automated with AI functionalities.
There's so many new roles in some ways getting created: context engineering, analytics context engineers. What are the shifts you're seeing? What do you believe will be the new kinds of skill sets and roles that will become far more valuable?
I think the understanding the business process, those will never change. You always have to, people have to understand the business, the human in the loop, right? Whatever you do, that who is going to be the one who will be coming up with the business process and validating which technology, those will be there. And then, like I said, the context engineering and even building the knowledge base, knowledge graph, all those roles, people. The way I see it is, the folks who have a title modelers, data architect, they are about to change their roles to more like context and knowledge graph and ontologies. Those are the some of the changes will happen. And like I said, it's not about, it's an ecosystem. Every technology vendor is going to bring a new context.
Yeah.
And we're not in the business of going and building a one big massive context.
Yeah.
Because that never works.
Yeah.
Because the moment you build, it'll be outdated.
Yes.
Instead, we wanted to see how we can manage all these disparate contexts.
Yeah.
And how am I going to partner with Salesforce? How am I going to partner with Atlan or Workday, and still, leverage the best of breed? So those are some of the things this team is going to be focusing on.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that. We had Joe from Workday earlier today, and they are launching their zero data share copy on Iceberg. And we were talking about how if your source systems start opening up context and semantic models, it can change a lot of actually what used to be 3 layers of hops on data transformation.
Absolutely.
Can actually go away, and now you just can have like a unified web of context in graphs in many ways, right?
Like, today, every BI tool has their own semantic layer.
Yes.
I think the context and the semantic layer we build, it's going to serve a universal purpose for any consumption.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so then how do you make it almost an open, interoperable
Exactly. And then
context layer?
And how do you make sure it's current? It's really behind the scene. An AI engine can look at the usage pattern and update the semantic and context.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also build a supply chain and the feedback loops.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is the core challenge, I think, in that world. That is super cool.
It is an exciting time to be in data world.
It is a very exciting time. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sridhar, for joining us today at Regovern.
Welcome, and thank you for having me here, and looking forward to the rest of the event.
Yeah, thank you for being an amazing partner.